Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Burgers Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Onchauskas. Today's the 9th of October, 2018. So welcome everyone. Welcome to this Tuesday's afternoon session where we're going to have a look at a few instruments, a few charts. Yep, as always. But again, before we do that, we'll have to quickly read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay guys, so let's not waste any more of our valuable time and let's jump into the charts. Now the first one I want to touch on is going to be the S&P 500. Now I was covering this one last week and I was telling you guys to keep an eye on this channel that the index is continuing to trade in. So as you can see, we had this upside support line, the short-term upside support line that was running from the lows of the 28th of June. We've managed to break that to the downside and we continued pushing lower, wiping out some of the key levels that I was also talking about. So the So the 28.85 level, we've managed to break that one nicely. Of course, on the first breaking day here, on the 4th of October, we had a nice test of that. But then the Friday came, and we also had a nice break of that line. And yesterday, excuse me, guys. Yesterday we managed to break that and kind of stayed below this. So and also actually tested this another key important area of support slightly below that, and that's around the 28.65, so just about 20 bucks below. So yep, for now, of course, the momentum is still to the downside. Certainly, even though it looks that the futures market kind of still closed in the positive zone here, but nevertheless we could eventually continue traveling lower here and eventually test the lower side of the rising channel. So excuse me guys, my voice is going down. So this is basically something to keep an eye on. So keep an eye on the 28.65 zone today. Let's see if it actually breaks it. If it does again, then yep, we could end up testing the lower bound of the rising channel. So something could be of an interest for the bulls later on, because maybe they could see this as a perfect opportunity to step in and drive this this index back up again. So initially, of course, aiming for the 28.65. Of course, I'm talking about if we would be around this area here, initially aiming for the 28.65, then above that again aiming for the 28.85. But that's of course what's in regards to if we get a test of this lower side of the rising channel. Now, if let's say this suddenly reverses back to the upside earlier, well, of course, keep your eyes on these higher levels here. We do have a few ones here, like the 2900 itself, the psychological level, of course, and of course above that we do have the 2941 zone approximately there. As you can see, was the all-time high that we had here on the S&P 500. Now for us, probably here we're going to take a more conservative approach, and for us to start considering higher levels, we would need to see either a good break and move back above, of course, move back above the 2941 zone. And then we'll probably aim for higher levels, or actually to see a nice good rejection around this lower bound of the rising channel, because at this point in time it's too kind of early to say, even though we could maybe see a bit of correction, but still, to be honest, at the moment it's looking more bearish than bullish. So keep your eyes on the lower side of this this rising channel. Let's see how that plays out. Now, if of course we get a break and a close below this lower side of the rising channel, then of course that could be something of an interest for the bears now, because this here could eventually turn more to the downside, and we could start aiming for the 2800 level, or even slightly below that, the 2771 zone. So the last one was marked here by the lows of the 11th of July. Certainly, if you're gonna try to find a good potential area here, or just like a guideline for yourselves, then well, you eventually could consider either this level here, the 2850 mark, approximately there, or even actually go a little bit lower here, maybe this one here. Well, to be honest, it's a bit difficult with this one here to find a good potential area, but for now, probably until we kind of didn't get here, until we didn't get this break below the lower side of the rising channel, it could be a bit difficult to kind of talk about this further decline. But again, something for you guys to keep in mind, something to keep an eye on. But of course, first we need to see that close below this lower side of the rising channel in order to kind of aim for further declines in the longer term. For now, we're stuck here. Just keep your eyes on this bound here. Looking at Brent. Okay, guys. I just lost my internet connection, so I do apologize for that. Just lost my internet connection here. So yep, things happen, and technology unfortunately is not the best one here. So okay, basically coming back to Brent oil. So for this one, as you can see, it found good resistance near the 84.95 zone, and you can see today it's kind of retracing back down again. So in a way, overall we are in an uptrend, but a bit of a correction here to the downside could be nice, and where we could see maybe a test of this short-term upside support line taken from the lows of the 16th of August. So yep, guys, for now, of course, keep your eyes on this. Let me actually jump on the 4-hour chart on this one, because it's a bit of a difficult. There we go. We can see now a better picture here. So basically, we found a good resistance near the 84.95 zone. So now it's kind of in a way struggling to overcome that barrier. Certainly, we're still going to stick more to the downside and aim for this short-term upside support line taken from the 15th of August. But if this commodity, of course, suddenly gets back above the 85.40 zone, now this is probably, we're gonna scrap the downside idea for now, and aim potentially maybe for these highs that we saw recently around the 3rd of October, and that's approximately around the 86.70. Now if we get to that point, we'll just reevaluate everything again at a later stage. So for now, even though we did have a bit of a correction here to the upside, I believe that this could be the area here that's going to hold it down for a little bit right now, until we see a slide back down towards the upside support line that we've got here running since around the 15th of August. Okay, jumping into EURJPY. Now this one also, as you can see, we do have this a bit of a maybe weird shaped, not weird shaped, but a bit of a channel here, let's put it that way. Maybe not an even one, but we do have this basically formation here. So for now, as you can see, we can see that the yen buying kind of remains and continues, but certainly a bit of consolidation that we're seeing here right now on the EURJPY. The big question here is, are we gonna continue dropping lower here? And if so, then we do have some good potential areas of support here. The first to watch could be the 128.75 zone, marked by the lows of the 11th of September. And if that doesn't hold, an even better area of support that we've got here is the 10th of September. So the low of the 10th of September, and that's approximately around the 127.85. Now that's what's in regards to the downside. Like I said, if this continues dropping further, but if we'll start seeing some sort of like more consolidation here, and let's say, and more kind of rejections from these lows, then well, keep your eyes on the highs that we saw recently here in the past, or should I say from yesterday. So keep your eyes on that one, guys, on the 130.15 zone, approximately there. Now a nice good break and a close above that level could potentially open the path towards the upper side of this channel here, where we could end up testing the area approximately around the 130.70 zone. So basically, it's a very tight, of course, a very tight call here, but keep your eyes on that one, because if we do get a move back above the 130.15, I think this could interest a few more bulls here, who could lift the pair higher and test the 130.70. Now that said, if this line suddenly, if this upper side of the falling channel doesn't hold and we get a nice break here, we would need to wait until we get a move above the 130.85, and only then we could probably get more comfortable with the upside here and aim for a little bit higher initially, maybe towards the 131.85, and then of course above if that doesn't hold. But for now, let's not get ahead of ourselves too much, and let's see what he wants to do with the with this area first. If it gets to this 130.15 zone, if it breaks that, then yep, that's great. That's great for the bulls, good news for the bulls, and we could see a higher move here. But if suddenly this starts to break the lows that we saw here today, and that's approximately around the 129.30 zone, so my internet connection keeps crashing, so yeah, do apologize for the my internet here, and yep, not very reliable. So let's reload this quickly. There we go. Now then, okay guys, I do apologize once again. I do apologize for my internet connection and a bit of struggling here today. So okay, USDCAD, now looking at the daily chart here, as you can see, continues to climb higher. We're stuck here below this downside resistance line taken from the 6th of September, and for now we're gonna remain cautious here on this one, because if we get a nice break here, that's great. I mean, because we could potentially expect this one to travel a little bit higher, but for better confirmation we would need to see a nice good break and a close above the 130.45, and this way we could potentially aim for the 132.100 level. So something like this could be possible. Of course, keep your eyes on that one. If the line here, this downside resistance line, continues to hold, then yep, we could see a bit of a correction back to the downside. But then again, for us to get comfortable with further declines here, we would need to get a close below the 1.2885 zone, approximately there. As you can see, this area acts as a very nice area of support here around the 28th of August and of course the 21st of September. So keep your eyes on that one. For now, probably stay put and just see what he wants to do with this downside resistance line, so taken from the peak of the 6th of September. And the last pair that we quickly wanted to touch on, and that's GBP Aussie dollar. Looking at this daily chart here, as you can see, we quite well, in a way, overall we continue to climb higher here, but yesterday we saw some weakness coming in, and of course, for now, we're just going to stay put, because for us, let's say, to get more comfortable with the downside here, we would need to get a nice good break and a close below this area right here at around 1.8380, and this way we could potentially aim for levels like, let me just adjust these a few, to be honest, this one's a little bit irrelevant, and levels like the 181.60 here, approximately there, or even actually all the way here we could end up testing this upside support line, this short-term upside support line, taken from the lows of the 9th of August, and this is where we could see potentially the bulls jumping in again and kind of leading the pair back up again. So in a way, for now, be very cautious. If you're looking for some shorts here, well, I should probably recommend here to wait a little bit and wait until we get a nice close below the 183.80. On the upside, for us to get comfortable with the upside, we would need to get a nice move back above the highs that we saw yesterday, and that's approximately around the 186.25 zone. This way we could potentially confirm higher highs here, and we could aim for much higher levels. So for now, be very cautious here and keep your eyes on this level first, the 183.80. Let's see what he wants to do with that one. Okay guys, thank you very much for watching and listening. I do apologize once again for my internet connection, and yep, bit unexpected and sudden. So yeah, but anyway, I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening, and if you want to join me tomorrow morning in my Traders Espresso, and that's 6 o'clock GMT time, 7 o'clock British Summer Time. But for now, thank you very much, and bye-bye.